So, welcome to another Play and Explain, this time at 5NL. And the reason is that I have had a few requests from viewers who wanted me to play some 5NL, and I've never done that in my life, so I've played quite a few 2NL by now and much bigger ones, but yeah, here I have not played anything at all, so let's see how that one goes. I obviously don't have reads on the players because I do not know this player pool, but let's see what damage we can do today. And I just had the one hand just when I started, so I haven't been able to really talk about it. Well, let's see if we can pull it up again. So it was this pocket 8's hand. So I raised pre-flop, got called, then I bet the flop, got called, then turn went check check. Sorry, I just have to concentrate here now. This is a check. With the king high flop, it is close to a range bet, but if I want to check a hand, then this is the one that I would like to check. And I will check again. There's no point in betting, and when I face this third pot bet, I'm pretty certain that I'm actually good, but there is no reason to check raise. And now I think exploitatively you might consider betting there, but I think I will just go for the check and see what he does. He has increased the bet size, which I mean, all I have is a bluff catcher. He's gone half pot, but I think against half pot I just have to call. And ooh, he had a set there. Okay, so all a bit rusty still here, and also two tabling and talking and setting up. But here on the right, we are just going to check our top pair, give him a chance to just bet whatever he has now, and against the third pot, definitely calling. The ace of diamonds, absolutely not a good hand. This is actually pretty terrible, but the thing is, we didn't filter at his range at all. He still has all his hands that he raised pre-flop, and he bets half pot, so I will have to call. But yeah, he got there on the river, so it was a close one. I definitely didn't expect to win this hand a lot, but I only needed to be good about 25% of the time, which is why I think against that bet, it's the right thing to do to call there. Here we are on the right. I'm going to fold left table. We're getting 3-bet, but I think it's a fairly small bet, so I will call. And if we face a c-bet now, although he is probably close to range betting there, but he bets quite big, and I think this, especially at these lower limits, this is a fold. So yes, back. Well, I can't really talk about other hands because there's constant action. We get called here by the button, and we completely whiff this flop. And he still has a very, not a very, but a fairly strong range, and I just don't have much. I don't want to go for the double barrel, so I have to give up with this hand here. Yeah, so on this pocket 8 one on the river, that was maybe a small mistake, but I didn't really think it through because I checked the river thinking that maybe I will let him bluff, not really thinking that his range actually is made up of more hands with like ace high or other type of hands that might want to call there. But yeah, it was just in the first moment I thought maybe miss diamonds, or if he has something like deuces through fours that are counterfeit, then he has to bet those. And I still think it's not terrible not to bet there, but I should still have bet. I think that would have been the better option. 5-4 suited, not necessarily a hand I have to raise in the cutoff, but I'm happy to do so because I can continue even against the 3-bet with such a hand. Pocket threes, very low frequency open. I will not open it. Okay, pocket deuce, same thing. Deuce is same thing. Well, there is a limper. I will just tag him as a non-crusher, but that said, I will fold, and this I think is a good opportunity to go for a 3-bet blind versus blind with Jack 7 of diamonds. But when we get 4-bet, I mean, it's just a min click. That's like really weird. I really don't have much of a hand, but it's a min click and we are in position. And now the thing is, do we want to get it in? I mean, the king is definitely in his range there, so I will just call, and this is absolutely a horrible, horrible, horrible turn card because we now lose to a king and to any pocket pair, and we are drawing dead against those hands. So unfortunately, this is so bad that we have to fold. On the flop, you can consider raising there, but I just felt that he might have been a bit on the stronger side there, and therefore I didn't. And this is interesting now. Okay, we have a limper and a call, and and a raise. So I am going to make this one 18 big blinds, and this here we can raise. Here I just wanted to tag him. Okay, so at this point we can either go fairly big or check, and I think with this kind of hand I do want to go big, but because the pot is already fairly inflated, I don't want to go super big. So what hands call our 3-bet there? I mean, he could have a set, of course, set of 9s, possibly 5s, although I don't even think he would. And other than that, we only lose to hands that that he slow played. I decided to check here because I don't need that much protection with one card to come. And if he takes a stab now, then I will probably jam, although I'm looking, is quite tight, but I only have 15 hands on him. But look at this, he makes it quite big here on the left. This is a call, and I will still just, if I jam, can I get called by anything worse? That's the question. I'm just taking way too long now, and I will just jam. And here on the left, I can now go for the check raise. And it's good that he's tanking, and it's not good that he calls with pocket queens. Okay, is this well, sorry, King Jack. Yeah, was this a cooler, or could I have gotten away from it? I think like with there it was okay. Like the thing when he bet that big on the turn, that kind of set alarm bells ringing, but the thing is I have an overpair there, and like, yeah, queens, kings, or aces are always in his range, obviously, so are pocket nines, and we only really beat. Yeah, we don't beat them much, so I think that was actually not great. Here on the left, I will call. Normally this is a fold, but he makes it so small and we have position, so I'm happy to call. On the right, I will just have to check this one down. Here on the left, can't do anything else than call with my ace. And he now bets again, and because he bet small previously, like this is already fairly close now, but I will still call one more time. And now he checks. And the question is, can I turn it into a bluff? Can I get him to fold a two pair? And I don't think I can get him to fold two pair. And how many queens do I have? So I will. The problem is, if I can basically almost never win. I don't have much of a much showdown value. But that's the thing. Like his two pair, I just didn't think that I could get his two pair to fold there, which is why I did not go for the raise, for the bet, sorry, for the jam. Here I would have called, but unfortunately now I have to fold my pocket nines. Yeah, not going too well here, is it? We have second pair on the board that does hit the small blinds range pretty well. And I think we can't do much else than check here. And here on the right, I'm happy to go with a 2/3 bet. And on this river, he bets half pot, and just because it is half pot, I will call. And I lose, of course. And here we can now go for the overbet with a king. The king hits our range, and we do have both a flush draw and an open-ended straight draw. Here, just wanted to see again because I didn't really have the time to see what he had. Yeah, so he did bet a jack there. The thing is, again, like I need to be good 25% of the time. It was quite close, but we didn't filter his range post flop at all. And there is enough spew and merge stuff going on there that he could bet a 7 or a 9 or pocket sixes or something like that, which is why I think the call there is not terrible, although I'm starting to see a pattern here at these tiny stakes that suggests that if players bet, they tend to have it, kind of. Okay, here we do have okay, so we have a flush draw, and now we also have the jack. So I feel pretty comfortable, and the queen is now pretty annoying. Can we still get called by anything? I think I will just bet one big blind because, oh yeah, okay, he had king jack even, but I thought that we could go for thin value there, get called by a 10 or just a pocket pair or something like that if we go that tiny. But we value owned ourselves. Okay, so pocket tens on the right table. Definitely a hand that I am going to 3-bet. And we get the fold, that's nice. Pocket fives, that is a hand that we will absolutely open. Same goes for pocket sixes. Come on. Okay, I'm going to make these a bit smaller actually. Okay, we are getting raised by the small blind, and we're not getting a great price. I mean, this one's probably indifferent, and at these stakes, even though I have position, I will fold. So yeah, we lost with jacks against queens. You could argue that we could have gotten away there. The problem is, like if you remember the hand, I bet the flop after I 3-bet and got called, and then I checked the turn and he bet fairly big. I mean, it was still only about third pot. However, it was still like a considerable bet in terms of big blinds. And here on this one, I am not going to bet. I will let him spew if he just wants to take a stab with something, which he doesn't. And the thing is, if he has an ace, I will do that same thing again. And now I can just go for the overbet here. Let's go something like 14, and if he has some pocket pair or an ace that's weaker than mine, he might call there, but unfortunately he didn't. Yeah, so back to the pocket jacks hand. If I had just check called that turn, then I think he would have had the green light to go for the bet on the river, although I'm not entirely sure here. This is close, but I'm going to rebet. King Jack against this player who does have a limping range, which is why I will not, although now I have to, yeah, now I will actually squeeze, because now there's a lot of money in there. So it's still a bit risky, because if he has a limping range, then that indicates that his raising range is a bit stronger, but it worked out in this case, so aggression does sometimes work out. Ace 2 suited is a raise, and Ace Jack is also a raise, and now here we get half pot. And what is this? I mean, I will just call for now. And now I am just going to try to blast him off here. And he bet small, and I mean, he might be inducing, but I am just going to go really big in the hope that he folds, and he does fold. So this was just purely exploitative, because the way he played with those small bets there and the calls, it just felt very much like he had like a king potentially there. So obviously I didn't shove there for value with my bottom pair, but it just didn't look like he had a strong hand. Okay, so here, this is tricky. I mean, he just min clicks it here basically. So I am gonna call, though I'm not in love with it. And look at this guy now donks pretty big, and I'm just gonna fold here. Gonna fold and just want to see what develops. On the right, pocket sevens. I am going to isolate this one against the limper. Oh, he had aces there. That's why he made it so small. And he had ace deuce. He cold called ace deuce, and then he donked. Wow. Okay, this is not great. We got jammed on, and I think I have to call now. To fold, sorry. No, obviously not to call. And this guy is, wow. Cold called a 3-bet with ace 2 suited out of position, and then donked big when he hit bottom pair in a 3-bet pot on king 6 deuce, and then he also called it off. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, ace deuce is not really a hand that I want to open there. 5 deuce, definitely not a hand I want to play. Yes, I am a bit rusty now because I haven't really played. I've been very busy with working on the Euros and football, and so I've basically haven't played any poker almost for a whole month, except for like 2 1-hour sessions live, and online I just didn't manage to play at all. So yeah, you can tell I'm a little bit rusty now, but I would have thought that at 5NL this should be enough, but yeah, as you can see, we are actually losing, but also we have not really been lucky at all today. But as we know, this can change at any time. Okay, this is a fold, and here we raise ace-9 suited. Pocket deuces I will definitely call here in the big blind. Check, here we are getting 3-bet by what seems to be a quite aggressive small blind, so I am going to go with the 4-bet. Ace-9 suited is not necessarily a hand that GTO would choose to 4-bet, but because this player is quite on the aggressive side, well, he is even so aggressive that he 5-bet jams, and obviously I now have to fold, but I still think this was an okay 4-bet. But yeah, once again, not going very well. I had quite a few hands on that player, and I know that he is quite on the aggressive side. And here King 10 is a hand that we will 3-bet. Here Queen 9 we will just call. And I will now take a stab at it here. And the jack should be good for my range. I am going to overbet this one, because there are a lot of hands that he just check called with there, like ace high, king high, that we want to get off. So happy with that. Here on the right table, we have someone tanking or just being disconnected. Not entirely sure. But yeah, king 10 suited on the button. You can call with that sort of hand. Here on the left table, I would consider 3-betting, but not against a 3.4 big blind raise. I'm quite price sensitive. So yeah, with king 10 suited, you can just call on the button, but I tend to normally play a raise or fold strategy on the button, and that's why I just raised in that spot. 10-9 off is a raise on the button. And again, one of those where we're getting min 3-bet here by what looks to be a fish. I will still just fold. Here on this table, getting 3-bet again. I will call this time with my pocket nines. 4-betting would also have been an option. Now he bets quite big, and if he bets that big, I will definitely have to call with my hand. And now we can check. Here, ace-9 suited. We can actually fold. Yeah, here, because he's betting so big twice, I will make an exploitative fold. I think in GTO terms this might be a call, but here I will just fold. Okay, king 3 suited is a fold there, and here definitely this is a nice one to call. And we are gonna open jacks, and here we're gonna check bottom pair and a gut shot. We flop quite well. We can actually go for 2/3 here, and here I think I do want to just call with my gutter. And now we have a straight, and in this case, well, this is someone I labeled as very aggressive, so I will just check, and see how this goes. And he checks again, and now I can actually go for an overbet, I think, here, because I so I'm going to 23, and here I'm overbetting this one. So this is something I normally don't like to do, to overbet after I check the turn, but I thought in this case it would make sense. And here I think there's nothing else to do than to jam. So yes, 10-7 beats me, but whatever. This is my chance to get value. Unfortunately, we might just be chopping. Actually, yeah, we are chopping, but we're chopping his money because he had a set and he just couldn't quite get away with that set. Would we have found a fold in his shoes? Well, first of all, I would never have called pocket eights in the hijack to a low jack raise. But yeah, once I jam and he snaps there, pocket eights are not really that great. Because, I mean, yeah, we would both have, like, I would need to have at least a set, and even then, I'm not sure if I ever really jam a set in that spot there. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But yeah, he only had 22 big blinds, sadly, and it was the player who had the more money who we chopped against. 4-6-8. We could bet, we can check. It's not really great for our range. And when you bet that small, I definitely have a call. And let's see what he does. So he overbets. Now, if he had made a normal bet, I would have considered raising, but against the overbet, I think we have an easy fold. Okay, ace-3 suited is an easy call. We can check. This could be a check raise or a check call. Definitely not a check fold. So we have a gut shot, we have one overcard, and we have a backdoor flush draw. So I am definitely going to check raise this one. Also this player, 3 out of 3 c-bets now, so could be doing this quite light. These are the small exploits. Okay. Let's see if we can get into a pot where we can actually win a big pot. Because we chopped a big pot, we lost a big pot, we had to fold a few times, made some good bluffing decisions. But I'm not super enthused by this session so far. How are we doing here? Yeah, we're still losing a lot. How are we losing $8 here? Not quite sure, but yeah, I lost with jacks against queens. That was $5. And where else did we lose $3? I mean, I did have to fold a couple of times. Maybe that's that. Here, non-crusher tag. Not that I would want to play 10-3. Also non-crusher tag. And I have to fold. Okay, opening ace 10 suited. Getting 3-bet by an aggressive player by the looks of it. But I don't want to 4-bet. Let's just take our equity, whiffing the flop like most of the time, and just can't do much here. Like I just have to fold, unfortunately. Okay, whiffing the next flop. I mean, really whiffing it, not even backdoor flush draws or anything. Although now this does look a little better. And when this guy half pots it, I definitely have to go for a call. And on this river, just depends over here. We have to, I think I'll fold against this. Here I will go for a bet, something like this. I still think that I can get called by all sorts of ace-x hands. So yeah, the 10-9 offsuit there, when he makes it 4 big blinds, still, yeah, we have position, but I just, without any information, I just prefer to fold because it can't be super profitable. It might be, so maybe I lost a tiny bit of EV there by folding, but I'm not even sure that I did, to be honest. So I am happy with that play. Okay, and then here we are going to go for a raise, and here we are also going to go for a raise, and here we are going to c-bet, and now we have an open ender, and I think I want to go with the overbet because I think I can get him to fold all sorts of hands. And here I'm going to go for a c-bet. So yeah, like in this one against this limper, I just thought that I can get him to fold 7s, 8s, 9s, 5s, 4s, 3s, deuces, ace, king or something like that if he low played that and just limp called with that hand. So happy with that. Also we got it through with the ace queen hand, so finally picking up a little bit of traction. Yeah, I don't think I played poorly, but just somehow a lot of the bigger spots didn't do very well. Here I'm going to raise, obviously, pocket aces. Here I'm going to call. And this is a beautiful flop, isn't it? Flopping the nut flush with a redraw to the straight flush. Okay, here I am going to go for a raise. Check raise, and here I'm going to go for a half pot bet against the limper. Unfortunately, here with our nuts we didn't get any action, but I just needed to get some money in the pot there. So here the issue is now, I mean, I'm not afraid of the flush, but I am going to go small again here, just quarter pot, because I still can get value. And look at this run out. I mean, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Question is, can we still get, I just don't want to get bluffed there. And I do want to see if I can get some value. I mean, this is super thin. This is razor thin what I'm doing here. But the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, I check folding this river is an option. He folds, okay, so at least we improved our red line. Yeah, so it was purely because we were up against a passive fish that I took this line. Otherwise, I would never have done it. But I just figured that against such a passive player, if I get a raise, then obviously then I can fold my aces. But I just thought that he might get sticky for this fairly small bet. Okay, sorry, here we have to go. I am not going to jam because we have some weaker players. I'm going to make this 4-bet this one, and we get folds all around. Yeah, so I thought maybe he gets sticky with a 9. And yeah, of course, if he has a spade, then I lose. But the problem was if I check, then he could just spew. He could just bet half pot with just some random hand. And random hand could be 10-9 without a spade, or a jack that he rivered or something like that. And because of that, I just didn't want to have to then try to bluff catch and then possibly lose to a mergy bet where he had like the 4 of spades or something like that. And that's why I thought that against this particular player type, going for a very thin value on the river where I could get a crying call and where I probably won't get raised as a bluff. And yep, it worked out. Well, it worked out at least in the sense that he did not raise me and he did not have a better hand. But look at this, aces again. Let's see, aces on the button. Come on, I want to raise and a call. Well, what I get is probably no action whatsoever. Oh yeah, we do get some action. Look at this. Right, do we want to I think I want to 4-bet him. I want to 4-bet him. I'm taking a little bit of time. A little bit of time, and then I'm going to 4-bet him. Come on. Let's shove. 10. We'll still fold it, but he gets the non-tag crusher, and we can call. Okay, well, this is a bit of a non-starter. Yeah, this is just a rake trap. Excellent. Well, at least we didn't lose. Once in a tournament, I got it in. I was on the bubble with ace-10 offsuit. Someone called me with ace-10 offsuit. Exactly the same hand, and he won with a flush. And I was out on the bubble. Okay, 9-6 suited would have been an open, but against these players, I just don't want to get involved. So I haven't had the chance to 3-bet out of the big blind with a suited connector or something like that. I normally like to do that, but so far not much of a chance. Okay, I think we've had enough pocket aces for now. King deuce suited, this will be an open. I mean, I've tagged this player as being very aggressive. His stats don't really show it. Okay, here, because it didn't start the hand with a full stack and made it 3x, I will just fold, otherwise I would have considered 3-betting. Okay, 10-7 is a very loose open in the cutoff, but, well, I was going to say, I think I can get away with it, but I cannot. So got punished here, queen 7 off is a fold against the 4x open. King 5 suited, yeah, let's open this one. Jack 9 off, definitely opening against a tight player in the big blind. And getting... Okay, so here we have a straight. And he is quite tight, which is why I will bet, unfortunately. No action whatsoever. Yeah, here, King 5 suited. I mean, we're getting a great price, but it's just not a hand I want to continue against the 3-bet with. There's monkey in the middle, even though there was a cold caller. Here we have ace 9 off, calling, whiffing once again. Well, he checked behind, which is a bit suspicious. And at this point, I will just check and hope for a showdown, which we get, but we still lose. Yeah, question is, should I have turned it into a bluff? I don't think so. Hey, let's see, let's try for 5 more minutes. King Queen suited is a nice one. Definitely gonna open this one. And good flop for our hand, but not for our range. So I will check range in this case. And this guy does this again. And here I am happy to go with a check raise. Playing it aggressively. He's thinking. And he does find the fold in the end. Excellent. Yeah, so my red line for non-showdown winnings, I think it will not look amazing, but that is just because I had to make some folds in big pots and it didn't work out the other way around. But I'm actually quite happy. I did find quite a few check raises, did find quite a few other spots where I managed to bluff. And here, I mean, if he makes it so small, I almost believe that. Do I want to raise this straight away here now? I think I do, because if he had ace king, ace queen, he would probably make it a bit bigger than just 1.8. So I thought maybe he has a weak ace that he couldn't let go. And he probably wouldn't have bet the river again, which is why I wanted to get some money into the pot now. So again, was quite good for my red line. Here, doing this again with king 10 suited, as I said before, because I don't have a calling range on the button normally, unless there are some big fish in the blinds. So that's why I decide to 3-bet on the button against the cutoff open. And we get the fold. Again, good one for the red line. Okay, 8-9, not going to continue. We're getting raised by a super aggro. Well, actually, I don't know if it's super aggro. Only 2 out of 6, but still, yeah, probably is super aggro, but there's not much I can do. With Jack 10, yes, I could of course 4-bet bluff, but don't really have the greatest hand for that, so I will just have to let it go, although probably he didn't have much, but we didn't either. Okay, second pair, feels like a deja vu. I will check this. This actually hits his range quite well. Now we have a gut shot and he bets pretty big, but I do want to call, also I have some implied odds. And now that the king comes, it's quite interesting. And he shoves. Look at this. I mean, I absolutely only have a bluff catcher, and I think at these stakes it's unlikely actually that we get bluffed, so I do not want to entertain a call. Gut shot. No, not gut shot. Oh, my eyes are getting weak. It's not a gut shot. All we have is two cards that don't match or align with anything. So clear fold there. 10-6 suited. No, I don't know. Probably just outside the opening range, but happy to raise there. and we have absolutely nothing going for us, so I will just c-bet. And here we do have, okay, yeah, so on the right, just folding with 10 high, not even a backdoor, and it went check check. So now I think I can go for, I'm not gonna go for the overbet because there is a flush out there, but I'm gonna go for a big one, and now I can go for the overbet. I am gonna go for, well, 45 3x on this one, because it's likely that he only has an ace there, which he will probably fold to a 3x bet unless he slow played it. Maybe we could have gotten away with a smaller overbet, but in the spot it just felt like I had to go fairly big because an ace might have called me. Yeah, so this one's interesting now. Oh, both are quite interesting. So here on the left I will just fold because he's not very deep. Here I will call, but it's not, and of course we'll whiff it as always. But yeah, this is also suspicious of his. But yeah, the reason why it's so normally 5-6 suited is a slam dunk call against a 3-bet if you're further in an earlier position, but not on the button, because there you just have such a wide range, and that's just not a hand that solver likes to. I mean, it still calls with it sometimes, but it's not a pure call. The reason why I called here was because it was quite an aggressive player, and I just figured that if I hit, I could get some value there. Okay, here, monkey in the middle. I will just check it, but I will go for a check raise in case he bets, which it doesn't do. The 8 is not great. This is the kind of board we would have liked in the hand before. So now I am going to go for a bet, and here I'm going to check my 9s on ace queen 4. And this is not great either. Check, and I think I can still get called by plenty of hands, and I am gonna go with that. Here we check and we will win. Yeah, and here on this one, I just think if he has 5s, 6s, 9s, probably not 10s, but he might still have 10s, 3s and deuces is a possibility. And maybe even ace high, although he shouldn't really have called me with a lot of ace high. And okay, this is this min click now. This is grim. This one is very grim because I have to call 13 to win 50. So what's that? That's 4 to 1, 20%. Am I good here 20% of the time ever? He probably. I just think that there can be enough spew there, although I won't win a lot more than 20% of the time, so I expect to lose, but yeah, so you got really lucky there, 9-8. So I kind of thought that, but he managed to milk the most out of me. At least my red line didn't suffer from that. But yeah, that was a grim one. And okay, so let's sit out the next big blind now, and we can wrap it up soon. Yeah, got quite unlucky there. But I did think that I could get some value. And therefore, I think the bet on the river was fine. And the call was a close one. Okay, ace 3-3. I will c-bet this one small. because exactly this. So now I can go for the overbet. And we get it through. Okay, so we are done. Let's see the stats. Can we? So just today, and let's do all stakes. Yeah, so the red line was okay in the end. We lost quite a lot, and that was mainly, yeah, in some spots where we got unlucky. I think I didn't play too poorly, but yeah, definitely have to still adapt to the games at 5NL, and I hope you will watch me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.